It's the Eagle Community Television Forum with your host, Gary Shorman.
Hi everyone, I'm Gary Shorman. This is the Forum on Eagle Community Television. Great to have you watching our program. The program is brought to you by Hayes Med. Our guest today is Deb Fisher, and Deb is with the Kansas Department of Children and Families here in Kansas, and basically is based out of the western half of the state. Deb, good to have you on the program.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about what your job is.
I am the budget and fiscal manager for the West region for the Department for Children and Families. They consist of 4 regions throughout the state of Kansas, KC Metro, Wichita, and the West region, which is us, and then there's the Topeka, which is the main office, and then of course we have the East region. And the West region is the largest. We have 65 counties and 17 service centers.
Well, we were talking about that earlier, and the reason you're here is because you were recognized as an award winner for the whole department. That was pretty cool. You got to go to the state capitol back in February. Yes. And what happened at that event? Because when they go through this, there are obviously a lot of employees, and you were picked as one of the best.
Oh, well, thank you. There's so many of us, but it was an honor, and it was interesting to go up there. I was able to fortunately have gone up there a few months prior because one of my own employees won the same award, and they've won that twice, 2 of my employees actually, but I was able to attend Jason's, and it's very nice. They meet you in a room, they have a little punch for you and some cookies, and you meet the governor, and you get to get your picture taken, and he presents you with a certificate he thanks you for your service, and they do it for several agencies up there, not just the Department for Children and Families. So.
Well, what's unique about this, sometimes we only hear about certain parts of state government we don't like, but in this case, you're serving, and what's so neat about your job is you're serving 65 counties in western Kansas, and you actually have a staff of accountants, because you're an accountant by trade.
Right.
And you've been with the group for how long?
10 years.
10
been with
years.
the agency for 10 years, yes.
And you have, tell me about the rest of your team, the accounting team.
They're a great team. I have a gal in Garden City who's been with the agency for over 30 years. So that tells you about some of the longevity we have in our unit. I have a gal, her name is Bonnie. Cammie is in Hutch. She's been with the agency for 11. Monique has been with the agency. She's in Salina, and she's been with them for 8. Jason, I believe, is with the agency for 8, and he's in Manhattan. Ashley is in Newton, and she has been also, I want to say, 8 years. Quite a bit of longevity in my unit. So.
Well, when you talk about that, Deb, when you take a look at what's gone into your job, you serve how many people when you're doing this?
Well,
because that's a big area.
It is a big area. We have our social workers travel quite a bit, obviously, with 65 counties to cover, and so basically we provide all the administrative financial support for the 17 service centers, keep the lights on, pay the bills. We provide payment services for clients, so we key those into the accounting system. Clients throughout the 65 counties and areas that we serve. So we actually do quite a bit. We're pretty spread out, and so we had to come up with a way to do that, and we have when we realigned a few years ago, we came up with a sort of a joint mailbox where we all communicate throughout this, any given time, everybody can see what's coming into there that needs to be done. So they've all been cross-trained. They're great staff. They're great. You know,
one of the things we always look at as taxpayers is efficiency in the system. And when I was looking through what you do, you guys are really efficient. You're based in Hayes.
Right.
And yet you once a quarter go out and meet face-to-face, but the rest of what you do is electronically communicating back and forth with these other centers.
Absolutely. Jason, my staff in Manhattan, he helped us get started paperless a few years ago. So everything we do is now paperless. And so we do the quarterly meeting face-to-face so that we can see each other and communicate and have those warm and fuzzies that we need as a unit. And other than that, our meetings are teleconference, and we try to be as efficient as possible.
You go to the state and you get a nice award to recognize Employee of the Quarter for that group, a lot of people there. What sets you apart, or what sets your team apart from others? Because you've won a lot of awards in your team.
They have. I'm so proud of them. I told them I want to have a wall of fame. I have 3 more awards to get. As a supervisor, I submit their names. I don't really know who submitted my name. I'm assuming if you have enough submissions that your name's on the table with the committee that makes this decision up in Topeka. I'm not really sure the specifics of how it works, but I do know they have a committee, and they sit down and they view all the entries and they vote. And So I was fortunate enough to win that award. There was a monetary award with it, which was awesome for me, and also for my staff. And so that's something, a small thing they can do for us right now when there's not a lot, they can do with the state. I mean, we're kind of tight right now funding, so.
Well, you hear that a lot of the funding being tight. What are you guys doing to help maximize the dollars that are there?
We are doing everything we can. We have, in terms of, well, I just explained some of it. We try to teleconference as much as possible. We try to limit our travel to where our actual social workers that have to be on the road, those are the people that we try to make sure that that's what the travel funding is for, because they need to be out there meeting with the clients. So for us, it's about trying to maximize the funding that we did get. Little things like you choose from these pens only, you choose from this paper only, it gets down to that when you're in the fiscal department. So we have unified forms and things like that so that people don't deviate from those things, and we don't get the colored sticky notes and only the yellow ones. And it seems silly, but when you look at it from a statewide standpoint, it's definitely an efficiency. So.
That makes it even better for you to be recognized employee of the quarter when you're the one that's writing herd on what color of Post-it notes.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're not the most popular.
I'm not. No, people like the pink and blue. Yeah.
Well, we're going to talk a little bit more about the Kansas Department of Children and Family when we come back. Our guest is Deb Fisher. She's one employee of the quarter for that group. Back with more after this.
It's a beautiful day in our super high-speed internet great customer service neighborhood. Like you, this is where we live. In fact, our company is employee-owned, so it's our goal to improve the quality of life for everyone in our community by delivering faster, more reliable internet, clearer, more feature-laden phone service, quality TV channels, all with the level of customer service you'd expect from people who are your neighbors. Eagle Communications. Our community connected.
Welcome back to the second half of our forum program. Our guest is Deb Fisher. If you have any questions, comments, ideas, solutions to problems in our state, don't hesitate to let me know. I'll let the governor know as well. How's that sound?
That sounds good.
Send it to gary.shorman@eaglecom.net. You can also find us on Facebook as well under ECTV Forum. Deb Fisher is our guest here. She's with the Kansas Department of Children and Family. She won Employee of the Quarter this last quarter and was just recognized in mid-February in the State House in Kansas by Governor Brownback. And so one of the things we went into the break talking about is really what are the services that I know there's adoptive services. What all does the Kansas Department of Children and Family cover?
Quite a few areas, actually. I can break it down into the basics for you, which is we have the Economic and Employment Support Program. They call that EES. And that is with work programs, trying to help clients get back on their feet, back into the workforce, food stamp assistance where necessary, child care assistance where necessary while they're getting back into the workforce. Those are some of the areas they cover. Then we've got PPS, Protection and Support Services for children and families in general, and those are our social workers that are out there keeping our families safe and providing services to them, trying to keep everybody in the home and grounded and make sure that everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Not always easy in today's world.
No, I don't envy them at all. That's why I'm happy to do what I do. I like to be on the, I figure if we're in there doing what we're doing, that allows them to be out in the field doing what really is important. And I truly believe in what the agency does provide. I was a single parent once, and but for the grace of God, So I look at that and I think, there were hard times in my life, and I very well could have been in line for services, but luckily I wasn't. But still.
Yeah, and you never know when that might happen.
You just never know. Tomorrow's another day for all of us, and so I really believe on what we do.
What about adoption? I noticed that. I didn't realize
Yes.
it said something about adoption in kind of the work list there.
Yes,
that
is
a surprise to me.
Yeah, they do. They're involved in foster care and adoption. They also have a program. They try to place children, and that's if they're having to do an out-of-home placement where they have to get into the adoption. I know there's temporary foster care too in the PPS program, and then there's APS, which is Adult Protection Services also. But they do get involved in that. They work with their counterparts like St. Francis and other public services out there to help those transitions if that's the necessary thing. But, you know, out-of-home placement's not always the first priority as far as what I understand. I mean, again, I'm the lady that pays the bill, so I can't tell you a whole lot about it, but I really admire what they do.
But somebody's out there and wants to find out more because it says
Yeah.
Kansas Department of Children and Families.
That's right.
And
That's
so
right.
that means children, families are involved. If there's
Right.
an issue, this would be a place for them
It
to look.
would
What's the
be.
best way for them to find out more?
The best way in today's world is to just Google the Department for Children and Families, and you will find a
For the
main
state of Kansas.
for the state of Kansas.
Yes.
Yeah, you don't want to go to Missouri or to another state, but the Department for Children and Families for state of Kansas in Topeka, and they'll have a main website, and under that website you will find the areas of service for you. If you live out here in Hayes, it would be the West region, but you can tell by where you live where you should call, and they have phone numbers there for you to contact for everything from the elderly, disability, foster care, like I said, PPS, vocational rehab is another thing
So
they
you
do.
click on that button, it
Yeah,
would get you
and
to
it
the
takes
right
you to where
source.
you need to go, depending on the service you're looking for.
If the rest of the team is like you guys have a group of people that are there to take the call
Yes.
and want to help as
Absolutely, absolutely. That's what they're there for. They'll pick up the phone, and if you're not in the right, spot at that moment, they'll get you where you need to go. So.
well. A minute ago, I mentioned our Facebook page. I understand you have a Facebook page also.
Yes, they did. They've come
Are
along.
you on that Facebook
No,
page?
I'm not. I don't think so. I hope not.
Employee of the quarter,
Yeah,
Deb Fisher,
I
right
don't
there.
know. I haven't actually checked it out, but I think I just saw something in one of our newsletters that they're coming along with the social media, and so that's another avenue to just look for Department for Children and Families in Kansas on Facebook. So that'd be another way to look us up. So
Debra, thanks and congratulations on that
Thank you.
nice award.
thank you very much.
Debra Fisher has been our guest. She was recently honored as Employee of the Quarter for the Kansas Department of Children and Families. You've been watching The Forum here on Eagle Community Television. It's brought to you by Hayes Med and by Eagle Communications, our community connected.
Hayes Med is your first and best choice for healthcare. They're the only facility providing tertiary level services in this region. With more than 70 physicians and 26 specialties ranging from heart, orthopedic, spine care, cancer, obstetrics and gynecology, wound care, rehabilitation and surgery, including the Da Vinci robotic surgery, Hayes Med is your comprehensive health provider for people throughout Western Kansas. Hayes Med, helping people be healthy.